الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, dear brothers and sisters, this is a new lesson or a new episode of our lecture where we're speaking about commentary on Bulugh al-Maram by al-Hafidh ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahimahullah. And we've reached to chapter that speaks about punishments in Islam. So therefore, so we reach this hadith عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله تعالى عنه أن جارية وجد رأسها قد غض بين حجرين فسألوها من صنع بك هذا؟ فلان فلان، حتى ذكروا يهوديا فأومأت برأسها فأخذ اليهودي فأقر فأمر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يرد رأسه بين حجرين. متفق عليه واللفظ لمسلم. Narrated Anas bin Malik رضي الله عنه, a girl was found with her head crashed or crushed between two stones, and they asked her, who has done this to you? Is it so and so? Is it so or so and so? Till they mentioned a Jew, whereupon she gave sign with her head. The Jew was brought in, and he then confessed to it. Hence, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave command that his head should be crushed between two stones. This hadith is agreed upon, and the wording is Muslims. Okay. So this hadith is an authentic hadith, no doubt about that. And in another narration, it says that this Jew killed this poor girl to steal her necklace, and actually they didn't punish him because she confessed. No, because her confess is not enough to punish somebody in any type of punishments, because she might lie, she might forget, she might, there are a lot of things. But when he confessed, that was the case, and he was dead. He was killed to death, and he was killed in the same way he killed her. So this is So this is the idea. So what do we get from this hadith? We get from this hadith lots of benefits, but the main things that if anybody is accused to commit a crime, he has to be requested about that. We don't just punish him just directly. No, the judge or the policeman or whatever, they have to ask him and see and search until he agrees, or there are strong proofs about the crime, which he can't get out of that. Now, the second thing we get from this hadith is that if one confesses only one time, that's enough. He doesn't have to confess every time and they go back and come back. Hey, did you do that? Hey, did you? No. It's only one time and that's enough. And that is the opinion of the majority of scholars. But there are some scholars that said no. If he was accused of killing, he has to confess twice. And if he is accused to commit adultery or fornicate, he has to confess 4 times. And thereon, but actually, this is not This is not a proper opinion. Number three is the equality between men and women in killing and in these types of crimes. So this guy killed a girl, he deserves to be killed. That's it. So he didn't say, well, he's a man and she's a girl or whatever. No. And this is the opinion of the all scholars, the four imams and majority of scholars. Okay. Uh, what is the opinion? Why? What is the evidence of these scholars? Well, Allah Almighty in the Quran says in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 45, وَكَتَبْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ فِيهَا أَنَّ النَّفْسَ بِالنَّفْسِ. We had written in it, the Torah, that every soul is with another soul, and another soul, which means no matter it's man or woman, it doesn't matter. And the Prophet ﷺ said the same thing in the hadith, النفس بالنفس, man by soul by soul. That's it. And there is another hadith that Imam Malik rahimahullah narrated by Amr ibn Hazm, that the Prophet ﷺ wrote a message to people of Yemen, and he wrote in it that the male is killed by a female, which means he has to be killed by a female if he kills her. Now, what do the other guys say who aren't from these majority of scholars? There are a few guys, Well, they said that in the Quran it says that كتب عليكم القصاص وهو كره لكم. The equality is written on you. No, كتب عليكم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم القصاص والقتل. Oh, you who believe, it's written on you the law of equality in death. الحر بالحر, free by free. والعبد الحر بالحر والعبد بالعبد والأنثى بالأنثى, and slave by slave and female by female. This is Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 178. So this means if female by female, that means female is not by male or male is not by female. But actually, that's not a proper evidence, because it's a general case and the other evidence is a specific case. And we know by usul fiqh that always specific cases are more accepted than general cases, because a specific case fits on a general case, and it makes it special. It doesn't make it general. It doesn't leave it as it's general. Okay? Okay. Now, here there's something important. This guy killed by something not sharp. It's not sharp, but it's heavy. So he took two stones, he smashed her head or crushed her head by those two stones. He didn't kill her by a knife or something that is sharp. And therefore, does the law of equality implements on only the one who kills by something that is sharp, or even anything that kills? Because some scholars say that what doesn't kill usually, like a stick or a corvage or something like that, something, or a rope or something like that, that doesn't kill usually. What doesn't kill usually, it's you don't kill by it. You don't kill by it, and it's called. It doesn't. They consider that the one who killed by it is not somebody who meant to kill. He didn't have the intention, but it's similar to it. It's similar to it, so they don't give it the same law. Now, what do scholars say about killing by something that is heavy? It's actually the opinion of the majority of scholars, and amongst them we have Malik, Shafi, Ahmad, Abu Ahmad, wa Abu Yusuf, Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani, who are the two students of Abu Hanifa. But Abu Hanifa says no, there is no killing if somebody kills by something that is heavy, and it's not considered as killing by intention, but it's considered as killing by something similar to intention, similar to intending to kill. And in this case, there's no equality. They don't kill by it, but he has to pay uh, a double ransom of money, blood ransom. And that is the opinion of the Hanafis. And that's what they give fatwa by. So therefore, the Hanafis, the official opinion of the Hanafis is this, that no one kills by something that is heavy or like a stone or a stick or a rope. He doesn't he doesn't get killed by that. The judge says no, he deserves to be punished by making the, the punishment less than the that if he would kill by intention or by something that is sharp. What is their evidence about that? Well, the Prophet ﷺ said, by the authority of the Sunan al-Arba'a, except Ibn Hibban, and he said, the Prophet ﷺ said by the authority of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn As, oh, in the diyat al-khata shibha. Now, he says there that the blood ransom of killing without intention, is anything that somebody kills by uh, a rope or by a, a stick or by a stick. Okay. Scourge or lash or wipe. Okay. A scourge is that thing that they hit people with. So therefore, the Prophet ﷺ says that anything that is by a scourge or a stick, if you kill by these things, you have to give 100 camels. 40 amongst them have their babies inside them. So they are she camels that are pregnant. This is the, this hadith is narrated by uh, the four books Sunnah, except Tirmidhi, and it's authenticized by Ibn Hibban and Ibn Qattan. Abdullah ibn Umar ibn Khattab narrated something like that, and although it has some some weakness in it, but it supports the other narration. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says that the Messenger of Allah says, what is similar to intention is that which is by stones, and that stick or the stick, it has a strong blood ransom, a double blood ransom. It's narrated by Ishaq al-Rahaway in his book. Now here, the intention is in the heart. We don't know actually anything about the real intention, because somebody can hit somebody with a car and he intends to kill him, but we don't know. You can't say, well, he intended to kill him, and we're sure about that. You can't be sure about anything. So therefore, we have to have something that shows us the intention. Usually, people, when they hit by sticks or by lashes, they don't mean to kill. So therefore, why? What do they say about this hadith? Well, actually, in this hadith, there were this guy killed by two stones, and he left the girl bleed until she died. So you see here how the situation is. And this is not like when you shoot somebody with a gun or you kill him by a sword or by a knife by hitting his head. That's so clear that there is an intention to kill him. But when you just throw a stick on him, and this happens, especially when you were arguing with somebody and you go crazy and you go, get out of here. So you just throw some, you might kill him. It happens. Okay. And some say, well, they accused the Jew because that Jew was known to do these types of crimes. And he kills children. This is what they say. So therefore, they said that this Jew deserves to be killed more than that. That's how maybe most of them didn't know that guy. So the Prophet mentioned that. Okay. Now, what do the majority of scholars say? What do the majority of scholars say about this situation? The majority of scholars say that um, that these narrations that they are using, these narrations that they are claiming that that's their evidence, it's not all authentic. Some of them are not authentic. And the ones that are authentic didn't mention a stone. So therefore, uh, if there's a stone there, it means there's a small stone. And it's not a huge, stones are different. If you hit somebody with a big rock, that means you want to smash his head and kill him. That's it. But if you throw a small stone, but subhanAllah, he got injured and he got bleed and he started bleeding until he passed away, that would be that would show that there's no intention to kill him. Okay. Now they say that killing intention is something hidden in the heart. You can't know it. So these guys say, no, that's not true, because when you use something that usually kills, that means there is an intention to kill. And if we open this type of these types of excuses, that means many people will kill their enemies in a way that would make them run away from being punished. Okay? And that would be a big problem in our society. So actually, now here, Malikis and Zaydis, the Malikis and Zaydis say that this type of killing by something that is similar to intention, it's not, they didn't mean to kill, but it's similar to meaning to kill. Called shibhul amd. They say this doesn't exist. And what exists is either you meant to kill or you didn't mean to kill. So they don't consider this type of killing. They say because it's not mentioned in the Quran. What is mentioned in the Quran is only meaning to kill or mistake. You killed by mistake or you meant to kill. But the majority of scholars prove that because uh, because it's in the Quran. It's an authentic sunnah. It's an authentic sunnah. So therefore, the majority of scholars prove it, and they say that it's if somebody hits somebody with something that doesn't kill usually, but he was killed, that is considered as shibhul amd. You don't kill him, but he has this double killing ransom of blood. Okay, so this is alhamdulillah, this is clear. So here now the Prophet when he ordered to kill that Jew the same way he killed the girl, that means that anybody who kills, he would be killed in the same way he killed. And this is what the Shafi'is and Malikis say, and therefore, anybody who kills by poison, we poison him. If he kills by knife or sword or whatever, he would be killed by the same thing. If he killed by stoning, the same thing. But the Hanafis and Hanbalis say, no, no. You only kill somebody by either a sword. I mean, the government kills by sword or any weapon. That's it, without doing the same way he killed. Okay, and they say that there are lots of evidence that show that. So the Prophet ﷺ said in an authentic hadith that Allah Almighty asks us to be good in anything we do. So if we kill, we have to kill in a proper way. And sometimes some people kill in a. I mean, if people want to murder somebody, they don't do it in a good way. They do it in a nasty way. So the government doesn't do the same thing. They just kill them and they just get rid of them. That's it. So that's it. Okay. Okay. So therefore, yeah. Now we get from this hadith that there is equality uh, between a Muslim and a non-Muslim, but the equality is that a non-Muslim, if he kills a Muslim, he deserves to be killed, not vice versa. Okay? And I mentioned last time, if a Muslim kills a non-Muslim, the Hanafis say there is equality here, but the majority of scholars say no, it's not. It's not, because the Muslim is not like a non-Muslim. A Muslim is superior than a non-Muslim. So therefore, he deserves to pay the blood ransom. He deserves to be punished, but not killed. Okay? Everything clear?
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Now, here he says, وعن عمران بن حسين رضي الله عنهما أن غلاما لأناس فقراء قطع أذن غلام لأناس أغنياء فأتوا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فلم يجعل لهم شيئا. رواه أحمد والثلاثة بإسناد صحيح. Here he says that Imran ibn Husayn said the slave of some poor people cut off the ear of a slave of some rich people. So they came to the Prophet ﷺ and he didn't appoint any compensation for them. Ahmad and the three books of Sunnah reported it with a sahih, authentic chain of narrators. What's this? Okay, what does he want to say here? Okay, this hadith according to this, it's narrated by Abu Dawud, Tirmidhi, and Nasa'i, and it's not in the book of Tirmidhi. And therefore, it's narrated as well in the book of Ad-Darimi, in another wording that says that a slave of poor people cuts a hand, and he cut the hand of a slave of rich people. So they said that the one who cut is a slave, and the crime is cutting hand. So that's a conflict between this. It might be another story, but there is something to say about the authenticity of this hadith. So it's a weak hadith. Now, what do we get from this hadith? Now, here the question is, what do they mean by? Because look, the hadith says, أن غلاما لأناس الفقراء. The word غلام, do they mean a slave or a kid? Because the word غلام means a kid that is still not, it didn't reach puberty. So the word غلام, when we give it to a slave, it's just a polite way to speak about a slave. Instead of, because the Prophet said, don't say, لا يقول أحدكم وضئ ربك أطعم ربك. Don't say feed your Lord and give purify your Lord. Don't say your Lord, but say وضئ سيدك وأطعم سيدك. That means لا يقول أحدكم ربي. Don't say my Lord, say my master, Sayyidi. And don't say, he says, don't say my slave and my slave, male and female, but say my son, my daughter, or not ibni, no, my child and my girl. Okay. Fataya fatati. Fataya means a young man or a child. Fatati means a young girl or a child. So here he used the word ghulam. Here they translate it as slave, but this is the problem of translations. It doesn't give you the real meaning. So here he says we have to go back to the text and see what do they mean by slave here. Does that mean because the word ghulam, which means a kid or a child or something like that, it can be given even to an old slave man. You say this kid, but it's just a polite way to speak about a slave. Now, they say that this is actually to speak about that this is a slave here, and this slave he commit this crime, and then the people went to the Prophet ﷺ complaining about that, and he didn't pay attention to them. This is not proper, because usually if he's a slave and he's responsible for what he did, he's not a child. He's not he's a mature person that commit a crime. So therefore, if he did that, he deserves to be punished. And usually, what do? They sell him, and from his cost, they give back to the people that had the problem. And this word can be meant that he was a child, still not adults. And this is what is meant here, according to what the commentators say, which means that this child commit a crime and he's still young. So he says, فَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُمْ شَيْئًا, he didn't give them anything, because his parents or his family are poor and they don't have anything to give. What are they going to give? They don't have money. They don't have, what are they going to do? So therefore, uh, this is the case here. But does that mean that their son or the one that was I mean they was cut or whatever happened to him? That means he doesn't get anything. That's it. He gets lost. I don't think so, but I think that the government has to pay something for it. It doesn't. You can't say that he just goes like that without paying him anything. Okay, paying them. I mean, so this is the case here. It's not that he's a slave or no. It means that he's a child, not a slave. Allah Alam, Allah Alam. This is how. وعن عمرو بن شعيب عن أبي عن جدي رضي الله عنهم أن رجلا طعن رجلا بقرن في ركبته فجاء إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال أقدني فقال حتى تبرأ ثم جاء إليه فقال أقدني فأقاد ثم جاء إليه فقال يا رسول الله عرجت فقال قد نهيتك فعصيتني فأبعدك الله وبطل عرجك ثم نهى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن أن يقتص من جرح حتى يبرأ صاحبه رواه أحمد الدارقطني وأعل بالإرسال. He says, narrated Amr ibn Shu'aib on his father's authority from his grandfather, anhu, a man stabbed the knee of another with a horn, and the later went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, retaliate for me. Retaliate for me. He replied, wait till you recover. You recover. He afterwards went to him and said, relate for me. And he allowed him to relate upon the offender. After some time, he came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Allah's Messenger ﷺ, I have become lame. I have become lame. I have become lame. And he prayed and okay. And he replied, I had forbidden you, but you disobeyed me. So may Allah dismiss you and Allah's Messenger sallallahu discontinue your lameness, your lameness. And then Allah's Messenger sallallahu forbade the execution of retaliation until the victim recovers, reported by Ahmad and Daraqutni, but it was considered defective for being mursal, missing link after tabi. Okay. Okay. Now I would like here to read something for you. It might give some more information about the previous hadith here in look what it says here. A slave cut off an ear of another slave. Now the people had only two options: either retaliation to be meted out to the slave, or blood money as paid to the victim of this iniquity. The masters of the victimized slave didn't ask for qisas, retaliation, but solicite blood money. The master of the slave who commits the crime didn't have anything to pay to the claimants, and a slave doesn't own anything by himself, and hence the claimants consequently failed to get anything. This clarifies that a bigger is not subjected. It's not subjected to the obligations of paying the blood money, and bears no responsibility to pay any indemnity to becomes on obligation on the family members only on the condition that they are expecting in uh, to gain something out of the inheritance of the concerned person. But as long as the person is in question himself has no inheritance, the question, the question, question, it's not question, of paying indemnity doesn't arise. Okay, now this is another opinion about that hadith. I just read it so that you can see another opinion. So there's anger, malice, but there wasn't an initial intention. Question. Okay.
That was something earlier, Sheikh. We cleared that up. You answered that one for me. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The word here, question. What's question?
Um.
Question.
Let's see.
Did I miss read that word? I read it wrong.
I don't actually have my book. I'm not with my library, so I actually see.
So the word is here.
What page?
Question. Question.
Yeah, question.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I think the word
Sorry.
question here is being used more in terms of the issue is not the issue of paying indemnity does not arise. I guess if you could it could be understood that way. That they're questioning should we pay indemnity or should we not in this situation. So that question does not even arise according to this opinion.
Okay. Barakallah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now here, look, this last hadith. Now this guy hit the other guy with a horn, and he came asking for retaliation. The Prophet ﷺ told him, "Wait a second until we see what's going to happen to your leg. Is it going to get cured properly, or you're going to stay in a which means that's maybe the whole situation would change." But he insisted to have his retaliation punishment. So therefore, when he had his retaliation, he came back telling the Prophet, "Look what happened to me. Now I can't walk properly." He told him, "Well, I told you to wait. Now you didn't want to wait. That's it. You took what you need, and you had you punished the other guy in the way that you wanted, and that's you finished. Now I can't do anything to you. Just go away." So therefore, here the Prophet ﷺ later on prevented people from giving the retaliation until the injury gets cured, and to see what's going to happen later on. And this means that if anything happens like this, somebody hits another guy and he starts bleeding and he got injured or whatever happens to him, we have to wait until the other one gets cured, gets cured. And therefore, if it gets cured and he still has a problem, or he's the other one would have the same punishment to have the same situation. Okay? And this is the opinion of the majority of scholars, except that Imam Shafi'i. Okay? Another, he might get done, might die from for example, sometimes somebody hits somebody, and then the injury gets worse and worse until he dies. Therefore, the other one needs to be killed. So that's why we have to wait. We have to wait.
I got
And
clarity.
therefore, huh?
I didn't mean to
Sorry?
interrupt. I'm so sorry. I didn't know my mic was on.
Oh
But I
yeah,
got clarity on the question thing, but I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no problem. So therefore, some scholars say that, and the Shafi'is are the only ones that say no, you aren't allowed to have your punishment early, even before the injury is still not cured, because the Prophet ﷺ did that according to them, and they said that this hadith is only something preferable. It's not the case. Something preferable. Okay. So therefore, there are several. These, we have these two opinions about punishing somebody before he gets cured, punishing the other one who commit this crime, hitting or injuring or whatever, until the other one gets cured, or we see what's going to happen. So that, therefore, the majority say you have to wait. Shafi'i say no, you don't have to wait. This is the idea. Okay, now look at this hadith. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه اقتتلت امرأتان هذيل، ورمت إحداهما الأخرى بحجر فقتلتها وما في بطنها، اختصموا إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، فقضى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن دية جنينها غرة عبد أو وليدة، وقضى بدية المرأة على عاقلتها، وورثها ولدها ومن معهم. فقال حمل بن النابغة الهذلي: يا رسول الله، كيف يغرم من لا شرب ولا أكل ولا نطق ولا استهل؟ فمثل ذلك يطل. يقول: يا رسول الله، كيف يغرم من لا شرب ولا أكل ولا نطق ولا استهل؟ فمثل ذلك يطل. That's how he pronounced it. Like a poem. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن هذا من إخوان الكهان من أجل سجعه الذي سجع، متفق عليه. وأخرجه أحمد وأبو داود والنسائي من حديث ابن عباس أن عمر رضي الله عنه سأل من شهد قضاء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في الجنين، قال: فقام حمر بن النابغة فقال: كنت بين امرأتين لي فضربت إحداهما الأخرى، فذكره مختصرا وصححه ابن حبان والحاكم. Oh, okay, this hadith actually is a strange hadith. This guy, this hadith actually, okay. Now, these two women, oh, I still didn't read it in English, sorry. I have to read it in English. Wait a second. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said two women of Hudayl, it's a tribe near Mecca, fought, and one of them threw a stone at the other, killing both her and what was in her womb. So she killed the other woman, and she killed even the child in her womb, the baby. So they brought the disputes before Allah's Messenger ﷺ, and then Allah's Messenger ﷺ gave judgment that the blood money for her unborn child should be a male or a female slave. He also gave judgment that the blood money of the woman who was killed is the responsibility of the aqila, relatives from the father's side of the woman who did the killing. Then, which means the woman who did the killing, her family. Then he made her son and those who were with them her ears. Then Haml ibn Nabigha al-Hudhali said, this is a guy called Haml ibn Nabigha al-Hudhali. Haml or Hamal? Hamal, not Haml, Hamal. They wrote it Haml. It's Hamal ibn Nabigha al-Hudhali. This guy, he's a Sahabi, but he was like a Bedouin. So but he said it in a way like a poem. This simply belongs to the Qubban, due of the reaming of, no, wait a second. No, the Quran. Oh, Allah's Messenger, how should we find for one who has not eaten or drunk or raised his voice, and a compensation is not to be paid for such? He means the child still didn't was born. How could we pay a ransom blood for him? So the Prophet ﷺ said, this man simply belongs to the Kuhan. The Kuhan are these guys who claim that they know the future and stuff like that. Okay, so and they used to use these types of wordings when they speak, when they tell you that what's going to happen in the future. They start speaking by using this way that is called saja, which means the last of every paragraph is the same of the last of the previous one. It's like a poem, but it's not a poem actually. But that's how they, due to the rimming of words that he has used, agreed upon. Abu Dawood and Nasa'i reported the, the aforesaid hadith from Ibn Abbas that Umar radiallahu anhu asked who witnessed the judgment of Allah's Messenger وسلم, regarding the unborn child. Hamal ibn Nabigha stood up and said, I was standing before two women, and one of them struck the other. Two women, that means his wives. The narrator narrated the hadith in brief. Ibn Hibban and Hakim graded it as sahih. So therefore, in this hadith, as you can see, that these two women, which were two wives of Hamad ibn Nabigh, as you can see. And it's not mentioned here, but it's mentioned in another hadith. And even in another hadith, it's mentioned their names. One of the one that was killed, her name is Mulaika, and Afif, and the one that killed her or hit was Afif. Yeah, Afif. Yeah. So therefore, what happened here? Some say in another narration, they said that she hit her with a stone. Others say with a big stick. Not even a big stick. You know, the tent stick that stays in the middle of the tent. So it's a big stick and a very, very, very large stick. She hit her with that. Some say that she hit her with something else. Anyway, she hit her with something, and therefore, okay. So the Prophet ﷺ said that the one who killed the other one, the blood ransom has to be from her family, not from only from her money, from her family. And okay, scholars said that the one who was killed, who died, which is the mother of the baby. Oh, wait a second here now. Did she kill? Who was killed actually? Is the mother killed and the child in her stomach, or she was killed and the other one, when she hit her, she made her child get killed? So it seems here that some scholars say that one of the ladies were killed, and the other one lost her baby. So it's not that she was killed and the baby inside her womb was killed too. This is what they say. Okay, so therefore, So therefore, look what you get from this hadith. That the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that anyone who hits a woman in her stomach and he kills her baby inside her stomach, he has to give this blood ransom, which is actually a slave, male or female. But there's no slaves now. There's no slaves now. So scholars say that you count the mother's blood ransom and you give 1/10 of it of that blood ransom. Okay. So therefore, this is the case. Who are the ones who take that blood ransom? His ears. The child. We expect that the child was born and he has ears. Those are the ones who take the blood ransom according to their inheritance, the inherent law, the Islamic inherent law. Okay. Now, in this is if the baby comes down dead, if he gets dead, but if he, oh wait a second here. Imagine that the mother, when somebody hit her on her stomach, the child came out and he started shouting and screaming and then he died. In this case, he has to give a full blood ransom, which means 100 camels or what is equal to it. To the male, 100 camels. To female, it's 50 camels. And this is what all scholars agree upon. Okay? Now, if somebody hits a woman on her stomach and kills the baby inside her stomach, the Imam Shafi'i, Abu Hanifa, and Abu Hanifa say that the blood ransom is on the family of the murder, the family of the murder, not on from his money. Uh, and no, Imam Malik says no, he's responsible for what he did. So it's not the family; it's he is the one who's responsible for that. Okay, now is there any retaliation here? They say no, it's a baby inside the womb, so there's no retaliation here. Uh, okay, so this is the case. Yeah. Okay, this is what I can say about this hadith. Yes. But now the question here, why did he consider killing? Why didn't he consider the deceived woman that was killed? Why didn't he say that the one who killed her deserved to be killed? They said, the Hanafis said, wait a second, guys. The Hanafis said, hey guys, wait a second. This is one of our evidence. This is one of our evidence. The Prophet ﷺ didn't say that she deserves to be killed, although she threw a stone on her or she's a stick. Okay? And Imam Malik and his friends that say that that's not the case, actually. They said in this case, she didn't mean to kill her. You know, two women, usually women, when they start shouting and screaming, and one took a stone or took I don't know what, and she hit the other one, they didn't mean to kill each other. It's just a discussion that went to something else. So therefore, he gave the Prophet ﷺ order to give blood ransom, but he didn't give he didn't order to give uh, to make equality in killing. Okay. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Wait a second. Yeah. So nowadays, as we don't have any slaves, how are we going to count the this problem? If somebody hits somebody's a woman's stomach and she gets out the baby dead, how are we going to count it? Well, we count the mother's blood ransom, and then we take 5% of her blood ransom. 5% of her blood ransom is the is this ghurra. That's how we count it. Okay, so this is the case.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Earlier you said 1/10.
Yeah, what they say here, it's عشر دية الأم. It's 1/10 of the mother's blood ransom, which is 5%. This is how they say.
Okay, Jazak.
If you count it, it's going to be 5%. Because the blood ransom, when you compare it, it's when you take 1/10 of the mother's blood ransom, which is 50 camels. You see, 50 camels is going to be 5%. Okay.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. That makes sense.
Yes. Like, these crimes are problems. May Allah forbid. وعن أنس رضي الله عنه أن الربيع بنت النضر عمته كسرت ثنية جارية فطلبوا إليها العفو فأبوا فعرضوا الأرش فأبوا فأتى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فأبوا إلا القصاص فأمر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بالقصاص فقال أنس بن النضر يا رسول الله أتكسر ثنية الربيع لا والذي بعثك بالحق لا تكسر ثنيتها فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أنس كتاب الله القصاص فرضي القوم فعفوا فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن من عباد الله من لو أقسم على الله لأبره. Okay, now this hadith is narrated Anas ibn Nadr, Anas radiallahu, Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, al-Rubayy bintu al-Nadr, which is his sister, his paternal aunts of Anas ibn Malik, broke the front tooth of a girl, and the people of Rubayy asked the girl's people to pardon her, but they refused. Then they offered the compensation for wounds, but they refused. Then they went to Allah's Messenger ﷺ, but they refused. They refused any offer except retaliation. So Allah's Messenger ﷺ ordered retaliation to be taken. Then Anas ibn Nadr asked Allah's Messenger ﷺ, will the front tooth of Rubayy be broken? Which means his sister's teeth are going to be broken. No, by him who has sent you with the truth, her front tooth will not be broken. Allah's Messenger ﷺ replied, oh Anas, Allah's decree is retaliation. That means these are the orders of Allah. Then the people agreed and pardoned her. They said, okay, no problem. We forgive her. So Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, among Allah's slaves are those who, if they take an oath by Allah, he responds to it, fulfills it, agreed upon. And the wording is in Bukhari. By the way, Anas ibn Nadr, this Sahabi is a great Sahabi, and he said once that if he didn't participate in Badr, so he said, if there is a new battle between the Prophet ﷺ and the enemies, the disbelievers, Allah will see what I'm going to do. Allah will see what I'm going to do. So, therefore, when it was but Uhud, he participated in Uhud and he fought so strong. And they said, and Abdurrahman ibn Auf said, when many Muslims started to give up and run away, he passed and he said, "Oh Allah, I ask you to forgive these guys, Muslims, and uh, uh, I'm part." And he says, "And I'm innocent from these guys," which means the disbelievers. And he started running and fighting. Abdurrahman ibn Auf said, "I couldn't do what he did." He said, "Oh, Abdurrahman, I'm smelling the smell of paradise from here, from Uhud, behind Uhud." And he fought until he died. Nobody knew him because all of his body was torn up except his sister. She knew him by his hands. She knew his hands. So she says, "This is my brother's hands." Radiallahu anhu. So here, actually, he wasn't against the Islamic the Quranic law. No, he can't do that. He can't be a Muslim and be against the Quranic law. But he wanted something to happen if the others, the deceived ones, uh, uh, forgave. That's it. If they agreed to take the blood ransom, that's it. So here, when they saw him serious and they saw him upset, they said, "Okay, no problem, we forgive." In the end, but the Prophet ﷺ actually wasn't going to follow what he wants unless something happens. That's why he said that Allah made the others agree because yeah, he's from awliya Allah. This is, so what do we get from this hadith? We get from this hadith that it's good and preferable to forgive in cases like this. And we derive that because the Prophet ﷺ was happy in this happy ending. When they forgave the other one, they said, "Okay, forgive. May Allah forgive." Uh, they say it's proper, it's right to swear about something, uh, even if you're not sure. Because Anas ibn Nadr swore, but he wasn't sure. He said, "No, Allah, by the one who sent you, which is Allah, Anas, Rubayya's teeth won't be omitted." And it's proper to praise somebody if you know that that won't spoil him. Because the Prophet ﷺ praised Anas bin Nadr. And yeah. And here in Islam, if there is the way you either take blood ransom or punish the same punishments, you have the right to choose one of these two. You have the right. If there's somebody who hits or killed or did anything like these things, you have the right either to forgive or to take the blood ransom or to have equality, retaliation. Now here we have the equality between men and women uh, because they say that Rubayya bintu another hits a man, said a human being. So they didn't mention it was a man or a girl, a woman or a girl, a woman or a man. Now the majority of scholars, Sahaba, Tabi'un, Imams, they said that there is this law of equality. Uh, and the Hanafis said that there is law of equality if a man kills a woman or a woman kills a man, but it doesn't apply to what is less than that, equality in parts of the body. And they said, now what is the evidence about this? The evidence is the verse of the Quran, وَكَتَبْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ فِيهَا أَنَّ النَّفْسَ بِالنَّفْسِ وَالْعَيْنَ بِالْعَيْنِ وَالْأَنْفَ بِالْأَنْفِ وَالْأُذُنَ بِالْأُذُنِ وَالسِّنَّ بِالسِّنِّ. And we wrote on them, Israelites, in the Torah, that the soul is by soul, eye by eye, nose by nose, ear by ear, teeth by teeth. And this is the law of the Torah, but the Quran agreed about it. So it's in the Islamic rule the same. Okay? Here we get from this hadith that if somebody broke somebody's teeth or one of his tooth, for example, he took off his teeth, he hit it until it changed, it fell down, he deserves to have the same. If he breaks the teeth, the same. And here it says that he broke her one of her teeth, her front teeth, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ said that the book says we have to have equality, retaliation, equality. You broke the teeth, she has to break your teeth. Now, this is in case that you can make the equality, or else if there's no way to make equality, therefore no way except taking blood ransom. So because sometimes it's difficult to make equality because it might go and affect something else. So therefore they say, okay, just take blood ransom. Okay, this is clear. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من قتل في عمية أو رمية بحجر أو صوت أو عصا فعقله عقل الخطأ ومن قتل عمدا فهو قود ومن حال دونه فعليه لعنة الله أخرجه أبو داود والنسائي وابن ماجه في إسناد قوي. Narrated Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, Allah's Messenger said, if anyone is killed in obscurity or by the throwing of a stone or with a whip or with a stick, then his blood money is that which is due for an accidental death. As for he who is killed deliberately, retaliation is due. And if anyone tries to prevent it, Allah's curse will be upon him. Abu Dawood and Nasa'i and Ibn Majah reported it with a strong chain of narrators. Okay. Now here, anybody who is killed, this means that if two groups of people, of Muslims, fought with each other, this guy's hitting, everybody's hitting the other one, and then when they finished, they discovered that one of them was killed, or two were killed, or whatever. We don't know who killed exactly, who killed the other. It was just people are hitting each other, and then one of them got killed. So therefore, we're going to consider that one who was deceived, that he was killed by, not by intention, by mistake. Okay, so therefore, they pay the group, the other group has to pay these guys the blood ransom, and this is what the Prophet ﷺ says here. Now he didn't say who's going to pay the blood ransom. He just said he deserves to have blood ransom of mistake. Majority of scholars say that the blood ransom is on the families, the inheritors, the heirs of the group that killed. uh, except if the family of the deceived person claim that so and so is the one who killed, or somebody else not from that group. And in this case, this leads to something else that is called al-qasama. Uh, I don't know. We still didn't take al-qasama, I think. I don't know. I was giving a lecture about. So, were you the guys that I gave al-qasama? I forgot. Sometimes I give several lectures, so I forget who did I speak to.
I don't think so, Sheikh. I don't remember.
Yeah, we didn't take al-qasama. We'll take it, inshallah. I don't know who did I give qasama these days. I forgot. Okay, forget about that.
Bidayat
Okay,
al-Mujtahid? No.
Sorry?
Not Bidayat al-Mujtahid, no.
No, we still didn't study that. No. We're just
No.
studying. I don't know.
But
I
you
forgot.
taught it many times, right?
Huh?
You've taught it many times, though, right?
I taught it. Yeah, I taught it. But I forgot.
Yeah.
Where was that? So here he says, anyone who was killed by purpose, he deserves to be killed. This means that if they meant to kill him, even if they were more than one person, all of them would be killed. Okay? And this is the opinion of the majority of scholars. Okay? So this is the other side. This is the other case. Look at this hadith now here. وعن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا أمسك الرجل الرجل وقتله الآخر يقتل الذي قتل ويحبس الذي أمسك. رواه الدارقطني موصولا ومرسلا وصححه ابن قطان ورجال ثقات إلا أن البيهقي رجح المرسل. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet said, if a man seized a man and another kills him, the one who killed him is to be killed, and the one who seized him is to be imprisoned. Daraqutni reported as Mursal, Mawsul, connected chain, and Mursal, missing. Missing after the Tabi'i Ibn Qattan rated it as authentic, and its narrators are reliable. However, al-Bayhaqi held that the stronger view is that it's mursal. Okay, so what do we get from this hadith? There's a lot to say about the chain here. There are some people spoke about the chain here, but I mentioned what these scholars said. Now this means that the one who killed deserves to be killed. All scholars agree about that. And of course, that's if the family of the deceived person asks for that. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ قُتِلَ مَظْلُومًا فَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا لِوَلِيِّهِ سُلْطَانًا فَلَا يُسْرِفْ فِي الْقِتْلِ. And the one that gets deceived unfairly, we have given his family or his guardians, his family, the rights. We have gave them an authority to revenge. Now he says here that the one who helps him. So, for example, this guy wants to kill. So the guy, and he started killing him. He said this the other guy has to be imprisoned. This is what the Hanafis and Shafi'is say. The Malikis say it's the case if he didn't know that he's going to kill him. So, for example, two are running behind somebody and they want to punish him. So the first one took him. The other one went directly killing him by a knife or whatever. The one who captured him says, I didn't know that he's going to kill him. I thought that he just wants to hit him. But the Malikis say if we knew that he had the intention to kill him, all of them get killed. No, no way. No way. And because he participated with him in this crime. So both of them have to be killed. And there's a hadith, a very well-known hadith by Umar that somebody killed somebody in Medina, in Yemen. So when Umar anhu had the story, he said, all of them get killed. He said, these are a lot of people. He said, if the people of Sana'a, all of them participated, I will kill all of them. So this is the case. Topic is, question is الموضوع محل البحث مسألة issue in question is المطروحة. What's this? الشخص المعني, an example. الأمر أنكر التهم. Okay, did you get the idea?
No.
Okay, so now, actually, they say that the Malikis are the most strongest madhab in these punishments. In the ancient days, in the Mamluki era, they had 4 judges: Maliki, Hanafi, Hanbali, Shafi'i. When they want somebody, when it was in the mid-ages, in the medieval ages, there were some there was corruption in some, especially in the Mamluki dynasty and stuff like that. But when they want somebody to be killed or something, they want something severe to happen to him, they send him to the Maliki judge. So he takes care of him. So here you see, but actually, I'm not speaking about corruption. I'm speaking about serious cases. So the Malikis actually are very strict in ruling and stuff like that, because they ruled. Don't forget that the Malikis ruled most of Africa, most Africa and Andalusia. And that's why their law is very it's improved. You can tell me, okay, why the Hanafis ruled as well? Hanafis ruled in a long time, and they ruled in wide places in the world. So why do you say that they're not so strict like the Malikis? Oh, that's another story. I would mention it maybe sometime else. Okay. وعن عبد الرحمن بن البيلماني رضي الله رحمه الله أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قتل مسلما بمعاهد وقال أنا أولى من وفى بذمته. أخرجه عبد الرزاق هكذا مرسلا، وصل الدارقطني بذكر ابن عمر فيه وإسناد الموصول واهن. إسناد الموصول واهن. That means it's so weak. Narrated Abdurrahman ibn al-Baylamani, the Prophet ﷺ killed a Muslim for a man who had made a covenant, and said, I am the most worthy of those who fulfill their responsibility, guarantee of protection. Abdul Razzaq reported it thus in a mursal form, missing link after the tabi'i. Ad-Darqutni reported it Mosul, connected chain, by mentioning Ibn Umar in it. However, the Mosul connected chain of narrators is wahin, extremely weak. So this is not an authentic hadith, actually. It's not authentic, it's weak. But the other one, yeah, actually this hadith is weak. So this hadith, anyway, it's one of the evidence of the Hanafis. This hadith is one of the evidence of the Hanafis who say that if a Muslim kills a non-Muslim who fulfills his responsibilities, he deserves to be killed by him. I told you this, and I told you that the Malikis say if he meant to kill him to steal his money or something like that, he deserves to be killed. But if they were just discussing and then he killed them, or they had a problem between each other and he killed them, he has to pay blood ransom. He doesn't have to, and he gets punished, but he doesn't deserve to be killed by him. Now, the majority of scholars, which is who say that no, Muslim would never be killed by a non-Muslim, they say, and we mentioned this before, and we mentioned that the Prophet says, "La yuqtalu Muslimun bi kafir." Muslim is never killed by a non-Muslim. But the Hanafis mentioned this hadith and mentioned other general cases from the Quran and the Sunnah, and they mentioned some opinions of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, and they said that this is the case. They said that in the days of the Abbasid dynasty and the Ottoman dynasty, this is the case. But actually, they're saying that the case was in the Abbasid and the Ottoman dynasty because all of them were Hanafis. The judges were Hanafis. Of course, they're going to judge by their opinion. We can tell them, well, it's not the case in North Africa. It's not the case in all Maliki states. It's not the case in the Shafi'i land, like in Somalia and in the lands of where I mean Indonesia, Malaysia, all these lands. It's because they're Shafi'is, and it wasn't in the land of the Hanbalis, which is actually it's Arabia now, but you can't say that this is the case. So therefore, the majority of scholars said no, there is no retaliation between Muslims and non-Muslims, but there's the blood ransom. Abdullah ibn Amr radiallahu anhu said the Prophet said, anyone who kills a non-Muslim that fulfills his responsibilities, he won't smell. This is a very strong hadith. He won't smell the smell of paradise. And its smell, it's from 40 years. That means 40 years far from it, you would smell it. This hadith is in Bukhari. And this means that a Muslim who kills a Jew or a Christian or a non-Muslim in general, who fulfills his payments in an Islamic state, he commit a big crime, and the punishment is going to be severe. He doesn't deserve to smell the smell of paradise. Imagine. But do we kill him by that guy? Does he deserve to be killed? No. He pays a blood ransom because there's no equality between a Muslim and non-Muslim. Another hadith here by Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, anyone who kills a soul of a non-Muslim that fulfills his payments, that has the protection of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he disrespected the protection of Allah, and he won't smell the smell of paradise. And the smell of paradise can be from 40 years far from it. This is in the book of Tirmidhi, and he said it's authentic. Okay, so this is clear, alhamdulillah. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu was said, وعن ابن عمر رضي الله عنه قال قتل غلام غيلة فقال عمر لو اشترك فيه أهل صنعاء لقتلتهم به. أخرجه البخاري. Narrated Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, a boy was killed treacherously. Is that how we read it? Treacherously?
Treacherously.
Treacherously?
Yes, Sheikh.
Okay, thank you. So Umar said, if all the people of Sana'a had shared in shedding his blood, I would have killed him for him. Bukhari reported it. Now, this has a story, actually. This has a story. Uh, who is this kid and what happened exactly? And what is the story? Now, and the story is that there was a woman in Sana'a, and she had a boyfriend. This woman had a boyfriend, and she had a baby. And that baby, when the boyfriend comes, he keeps on bothering them, maybe shouting, screaming. So they decided to get rid of him, and they killed him and they put him in a will or something like that. And the story was discovered. So uh, when Umar knew about the case, he decided to kill both of them, the man, the woman, and the people who participated in this crime. And Imam Malik narrated this by Sa'id Musayyib that Umar al-Khattab killed maybe 5 or 7 people by one man. By one man they killed him. All of them killed him. And Umar said, if the people of Sana'a, all of them kill him, I would kill all of them. So this is this is the story of this boy that was deceived. What do we get from this? We get from this that if people make a plan to kill somebody, all of them deserve to be killed. The one who directly killed and the ones who helped him. This prepared, I don't know what, this captured the guy, this stopped him, this I don't know what, and this one killed him. So all of them deserve to be killed. And this is what all Sahaba radiallahu anhum agreed about. So therefore, they said that if one kills, if a group of people kill one person, all of them deserve to be killed. Okay? The last hadith of this chapter, عن أبي شريح الخزاعي رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فمن قتل له قتيل بعد مقالة هذه فأهله بين خيرتين إما أن يأخذ العقل أو يقتل. أخرجه أبو داود والنسائي وأصله في الصحيحين حديث أبي هريرة بمعناه. So the last hadith here narrated Abu Shuraih al-Khuza'i radiallahu anhu, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if a relative of anyone is killed after this speech of mine, his family will have a choice either to accept blood money or to kill the murder in retaliation. Abu Dawood and Nasa'i reported it. Its basic meaning is found in the 2 authentic books from Abu Huraira's narration, which is similar. So this is, alhamdulillah, clear. And it says that if somebody, the responsible of any deceived person has the right either to have retaliation or only blood ransom. He has the right to, he has a choice of these 2. This is what the Shafi'is and Hanbalis say. Now the Hanafis and Malikis say that the first thing, the original punishments, if somebody killed another one, it's to kill him. And this is the right of his inheritors, his heirs. Now, if they want to go from the blood ransom, from killing, from retaliation to blood ransom, or any retaliation, they have to have an agreement with the one who killed, the murder. And the one who, the murder, has to agree so that he can rescue himself. If he didn't agree, accepts the punishments, which is the first punishment, no one has the rights to now yeah. So in this case, the family don't have except two choices: either the blood, either killing, retaliation, or forgiving. No blood ransom here anymore. Hanafis and Malikis say that the Prophet ﷺ said killing by intention means retaliation. Al-amadul qawad, which is narrated by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, but actually it's a weak hadith. It's a weak hadith. And there's another hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says, anyone who kills by intention, so he deserves to be killed. What is the point of view here? Where did they derive this from? He didn't say that that killing by intention leads to retaliation. So that means that there is no way for the guardian, the responsible of the deceived person, except to forgive or to kill. Okay. Now this means that the Hanafis and Malikis are so squeezed here, where the Hanbalis and Shafis are more open. They're more open. But there's a case here that's the Malikis are known by it. It's they say that if somebody kills somebody by intention, if somebody kills somebody by intention to steal his money, in this case, no one is allowed to forgive, because it's now the responsibility of the government itself, and the government doesn't have the right to forgive anybody. Government doesn't have to forgive anybody in these types of murders. Walhamdulillah, wa sallallahu rasulullah. If there's any question, I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I had a couple of questions.
Before we get into the questions, there's an important announcement. I don't see the brother. I think he left. His phone might have cut off. So, inshallah, we'll ask the questions in a second. But we have to transfer this course off of Critical Loyalty to Sheikh Hassan's Academy, just because Critical Loyalty is not going to be offering classes to the public. So you guys need to get in contact with the brother Rayan al-Majidi. I'm gonna put his WhatsApp number here. Please just send him a message on WhatsApp and let him know that you are taking this course and that you need to transfer it, inshallah. Barakallah fikum.
So sorry. You mean this is the last day with critical loyalty?
I don't think it's a rush, but we'll, inshallah, we'll still continue this course. It just will not be here. I think Sheikh Uthman is still going to teach people, but he's going to teach privately. He's not going to have an open academy.
So sorry.
Okay, well, I wish you would have talked to us about it. We had an agreement, but anyway, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he did make a couple of public announcements about it, Sean, but inshallah, send him a message and I'm sure he'll talk to you about it.
I sent him, yeah.
Okay, inshallah. Okay. What are your questions?
So, Sheikh, first question was about when we do these punishments, these are expiations of sins for the crime if a person repents on the day of judgment. There are times people are punished and they don't repent, but it's an accidental murder or it's an intended murder, but there's a lot of remorse and the person is repenting. Do these punishments in the world, we hope for forgiveness in the hereafter with that?
The
Or they're
Prophet
just
ﷺ, yeah, the Prophet ﷺ says that anybody who has his punishment in this life, that's his punishments. That, but actually, this is in case that he repents, or else if he doesn't repent, so
then no point.
yeah, so he still
That's
doesn't
why
repent.
I asked you about repentance. And the second thing was you were saying whether to forgive, I take blood or take blood money is the right of the guardian. So, say for example, if a man's wife dies or is killed,
Yeah.
that would then be her husband, not her parents. Because what if
Yes.
the parents want I mean, I was wondering, like, or say for example, if it was a child that was killed and both parents are guardians and the dad wants to forgive but the mom wants retributions, how is that?
No, she doesn't
Who?
have any. It's
So
for
it
the
would be
men,
the
not
wali.
for the women. It's
So it
for the
would be
men,
the
not for the women.
okay. So Eve, okay. So if it's okay. So what if it's a woman's husband who was killed and she's the only relative there, or what does she can she then decide? Or if it's her son, if she's the only person? I'm just trying to understand who has the
If
right.
her husband gets killed, he
Mhm.
has his family.
Okay. So it's still not her. So she cannot
Yeah.
forgive and she can, oh, subhanAllah. And then I was getting a little confused, Sheikh, when you were talking about the equality of qisas. That do the Hanafis say that there is no equality in body parts, like nose for a nose, tooth for a tooth? Were they the only ones who have that opinion?
I don't know exactly what the Hanafis say, but it seems that they don't have equality. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But basically, overall, if you were to surmise, if the intent was for murder, then the punishment is death. Some agree that, okay, there can be blood money. But if it was accidental, it was manslaughter, then we don't punish by death. We don't do retribution. Whether it's a
How,
point, I
how
said,
can it
for
be
example,
slaughtering? How can it be slaughtering
no,
without?
not slaughtering. Manslaughter means like it was an intent to kill. It was accidental. It
Oh
happened. Like
yeah,
in the
like a car
so
accident or something like that.
right, like somebody accidentally fell, or you accidentally pushed, or in the case of
Oh
Musa
yeah,
alayhi
yeah,
salam.
yeah.
But in the case of intent, if someone poisons, or if someone strangles, or if someone drowns, and the
Yeah,
intent was there, it doesn't
yeah.
matter if it's not a weapon. Intent is the primary reason, right?
Of course, of
Okay.
course.
Okay, jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum.
وإياكم وإياكم. What about the others? Is there any question?
No, not about this.
About
Um,
what?
It was a lot
Yes.
of information, mashallah.
MashaAllah. Yes.
Um, Sheikh, I went back to recordings. There are
Yeah.
not many other recordings for the month of April. The one, where you talked about the recording for breastfeeding and the other one.
Yeah.
There was
You
no
don't have
record.
them?
No, it's not. I went
No, they're
today and
not.
a lot of the lectures are
You,
not there. So I was wondering if it's just me or if anybody else has those recordings.
how come?
No, somebody, whoever's been recording hasn't uploaded them. It used to be check with man, make sure they're uploaded, but uh, I don't know.
Ali, don't you have any idea about that?
No, Sheikh,
Ali?
unfortunately, I don't have any insight into recordings. I can message Sheikh Uthman and ask him. Probably he just didn't download it and upload it, and I can remind him.
What about the recordings that I sent you last week? 2 hours.
I did not see that, Sheikh. Here, let
The
me.
last week's recording was uploaded. I checked that one. The one
Yeah.
before that, you were talking about, I believe, breastfeeding and something else. That one was not there.
Okay,
Which I gave it directly live.
Yeah, that one's not
Here,
up.
let me. You mean the one on YouTube, Chef?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the missing ones, guys, that you're looking for.
Yeah, I couldn't find the one.
Somehow I missed it in the messages, Chef. My apologies.
Okay, you have to, somebody has to organize all of the videos so that the lecture doesn't get missed. Nothing gets missed.
Yeah, I'm trying to I actually don't have the link for these lectures. Can somebody send me the link and the password for these lectures so I can get them all, and I'll help Sheikh Kettani put it on the
My channel.
yeah, the Ibn Abdul Barr
Yeah, that would
Institute
be good.
channel.
I
Can
think there's a
somebody-
lot. How many videos do we have right now? I never counted them.
It's a lot. Can somebody send me the link just here on Zoom or
Maybe this is the
Slack or
long
something?
course
There
that
are,
I gave him.
I'm not sure if all the recordings are there. They're
Really?
kind of
They're
mess.
not, but
They're not
because
all of
like
them.
the ones from, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like there are 4 for September, 4 for October, 3 for November, 1, 2, 2 for March, and
Oh.
there's nothing for February. There's some for July, like 3 for July, 1, 2, 3, 4,
And
4
then
for
can you send me that link, please, with the password?
Okay. You know, Brother Ali, if you are on, when we're logging into the class, it has the recording section. The password is iPhone.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
try
have
and send
I don't have the link because I don't have it
Okay,
on
I'll
my
send it to you.
critical. Yeah,
I'll
I
But
don't
wait
have
a second. Wait a second. There are some videos that I recorded and I sent it to Sheikh Uthman. Maybe he didn't put them, but I still have them actually.
Okay, that would be great, yeah, because those
Ma-
are the only
are-
ones I think I'm missing.
If you want, I'll send them all to these recorded videos. I'll send them all to Ali, and you can compare. What are the
So,
missing?
Brother
Huh?
Ali, I posted the link and the password is iPhone.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Chef, can you send me the rest of the ones that you recorded, and I will try to
Yes.
figure it all out, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. I'll send.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam.
These punishments that we talk about, obviously, we're talking about this in context of being in a place where the government, is following the Islamic rule.
Yeah, that's true.
In the West, uh, or in places that's not the case, or even there are Muslim countries where that's not the case,
Yes.
then the people follow the law of the land. How does that impact, or are there any considerations, in a broader context like that you would like to comment about?
Well, what am I going to say? These are Islamic rulings, but they have to be implemented by a government. It can't be implemented by people. You can't tell a group of people, okay, go and implement these laws. It's going to be, it's going to take, it's not going to be proper because it needs a court. It needs several things, but it needs Muslims to force their countries to follow the Islamic law. This is the idea.
Unfortunately, we see that not happening. Even there's even more injustice sometimes in our Muslim countries.
Yeah, well, look, just let me tell you, look, it's not an excuse to stop following the Islamic law because there is injustice, because in the whole history it wasn't always justice. We didn't have justice except when we speak about the days of the Prophet ﷺ and the Khulafa al-Rashidun and some righteous judges. But it's not always the case, this life is not it's not a model life.
True.
It's huh?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. But we have to try. We have to try our best. We have to improve. We have to always try and to improve the law, to improve the law, to improve the law, to improve a lot of
Yeah, like when we, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yes.
You know, I was just saying, it's just surprising when you see some of, you know, crimes that took place then and now. I mean, humanity, human behavior uh, doesn't change. You see people doing the worst of the worst, you know, all across time, even during the time of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
But anyway, what I can say that in general, these types of laws stop a lots of other crimes. When you see that if you commit a crime to somebody, you are going to be punished as you did. So a lot of people will stop, say, if I, but nowadays what I see, and I saw this here in jail, I saw in jail a lot of people who commit lots of crimes, horrible crimes, and then they just stay a few years and then they have a grace and they go out of prison. Okay, what are the family of the deceived person? What are they going to say about that? What's going to happen? And this leads to other crimes because when you see that the government didn't take your right, you go try and taking it by yourself. And this is what happens lots of times in lots of places. You find that people maybe enter the prison to kill the guy that killed them or commit a crime to them or whatever. You see? So this is the case. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. And you have a life in retaliation uh, law, retaliation law. What does that mean, life? You have life. Because when you see that the one who killed your beloved is killed, or at least you forgave him, that's it. It's not like when you see him alive doing whatever he wants, and you're crying for the one who was your beloved. You see? Allah A'lam, this is the case, yes.
Yeah, Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much, and see you later, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.